The night sky above Earth was calm, stars shining like diamonds. The people of Earth lived in peace after many long years of division. Now humanity was united under one council, trade flowed freely, science reached new heights, and hope was strong in every heart. Children played in the streets, markets were filled with laughter, and for the first time in centuries, there was no fear of war. Humanity believed the dark age of conflict was gone forever. But far away, beyond the quiet beauty of the stars, something moved, something vast, something ancient. On the edge of the solar system, observatories detected strange signals. At first they thought it was just background noise, random static. But then the signals became clear, structured, and powerful. Dr. Elena, one of Earth's top astronomers, stared at her monitor, her voice shaking as she whispered, "This is not natural. This is a fleet." Within minutes, the United Earth Council received the alert. Panic spread through the highest offices in orbit. Defense satellites shifted into battle readiness. War alarms echoed across the globe. In the council chamber, leaders from every nation gathered. The tension was heavy. President Arjun, head of the council, looked at the others with grave eyes. "We are not facing pirates or traitors. This is an armada. Their numbers are beyond count." Then came the first broadcast. The alien message boomed across every screen, every radio, every device. The voice was deep, mechanical, filled with contempt. "Humans, your existence offends the stars. Your time has ended. We declare war. In one day your species will be erased." The room fell into silence. The weight of the words pressed on every heart. People around the world froze, listening, realizing what was coming. In New York, families rushed to shelters. In Tokyo, emergency sirens wailed. In Cairo, soldiers lined the streets to maintain order. The entire world trembled as the shadow of destruction fell upon it. The alien fleet was massive, millions of ships stretching like a dark sea across the void. Their weapons glowed with unholy fire, their war engines powered by centuries of conquest. To them, Earth was just another easy target, another primitive world to crush. But among the fear, there was also fire. Humanity had faced extinction before, plagues, wars, disasters, yet each time they had risen again, stronger, united. And now, as the storm approached, the old spirit of resistance awoke. General Carter, commander of Earth Defense Force, stood tall before the council, his voice calm yet firm. "They think we are weak. They think we will kneel. But they do not know humanity. We will fight. Even if it is our last breath, we will fight." At his words, the council erupted in debate. Some leaders wanted to surrender. Others demanded immediate attack. Fear and courage battled in every mind. Meanwhile, ordinary people made choices of their own. A mother in Brazil hugged her children tightly, whispering promises she was not sure she could keep. An old man in India prayed for strength. Young volunteers in Europe lined up to join the defense forces. Humanity prepared in silence, far above Earth, hidden in orbit. Secret weapons powered up, satellites that had never been revealed, warships cloaked in shadows, and a project so secret that only a handful knew about it. A weapon that could change everything, but time was short. The alien fleet was already moving closer, their formation spreading across space like a wave of death rolling toward Earth. Scientists calculated the time less than 24 hours before the first strike. In the quiet of midnight, people looked up at the sky, stars shining as always, unaware that behind those stars, a battle for survival was about to begin. Humanity. He had never faced such odds, never seen such power aimed against them. Yet deep inside, a spark of defiance burned, and that spark was about to set the universe on fire. The first chapter of the one-day war had begun, and the world would never be the same again. The alien fleet moved closer, their ships like a wall of darkness across the stars, their weapons glowed like suns ready to burn the earth. Every hour the signal grew stronger, every hour the sense of doom deepened. In the United Earth Council chamber, fear filled the air. Maps of the solar system glowed on the screens. Red dots spread like fire across the dark void, each dot an enemy vessel, each one carrying enough power to destroy a city. President Arjun stood at the center of the chamber, his voice heavy with the weight of the world. "They come not to speak, not to reason. They come only to destroy." His words cut through the silence, reminding every leader present of the truth. Some voices rose in despair, "We cannot fight them. We should surrender. At least some of us may survive," cried one council member. Others slammed their fists on the table. "No, surrender means chains. Surrender means death anyway. If humanity must end, let it end standing tall." The debate turned into chaos, fear against courage, reason against pride, and above them all, the clock ticked down toward destruction. General Carter, who had served his entire life in silence, stood up. His presence quiet but strong, his eyes calm but burning with resolve. "We do not have the luxury of fear. If they want our world, they will have to take it from our hands, brick by brick, drop of blood by drop of blood, but they will not find us weak." His words spread like fire. Soldiers across the world heard the message. Civilians watched the broadcast, and for the first time since the alien threat appeared, humanity felt not only fear, but also pride. Meanwhile, in a hidden bunker beneath the mountains, scientists worked without rest. A young engineer named Hannah looked at the glowing screens, numbers flying fast. "Further than her eyes could follow," she whispered to herself. "If this works, we may survive. If it fails, Earth will be ashes." She was part of the secret project known only as Aegis, a shield system hidden in the skies, an invention so advanced it had never been tested in real battle. Satellites linked together like a giant web, able to bend energy and block incoming fire. But no one knew if it was strong enough to face millions of alien cannons. Back in orbit, cloaked human warships drifted in silence, their crews tense, their captains staring at the dark fleet through cold glass. One young pilot clenched his fists. "They think we are weak. They will learn we are human." The alien fleet sent another broadcast, this time more cruel. The voice mocked humanity. "You cannot stop us. We are the tide, and you are grains of sand. In one day you will be forgotten." But instead of breaking, the words only hardened the hearts of those who heard them. In the streets, people prepared. Some built barricades, some carried weapons, and others prayed. Families whispered promises of survival, while old veterans pulled out uniforms they thought they would never wear again. Earth became silent, not the silence of surrender, but the silence of resolve, a world holding its breath, waiting for the storm. As hours passed, the alien fleet spread wider, their numbers endless, but the humans moved too. Activating hidden defense towers, opening underground hangars, revealing weapons unknown even to their own people. President Arjun stood before the cameras, his face pale, but his voice steady. "We are humans. We have made mistakes. We have fought each other. We have bled, but we are still here. We survived everything the universe has thrown at us, and we will survive this. Remember this day, for it is not the day humanity ends. It is the day humanity rises." The speech echoed across every home, every shelter, every heart. Fear did not vanish, but courage grew beside it. On the alien flagship, commanders watched with contempt. Their leader laughed. "Fools, they think words can save them. They will burn with their pride." And he gave the order to prepare the first strike. But what the aliens did not know was that Earth was ready too. The shield system Aegis hummed to life. Hidden warships locked their weapons. Secret AI-controlled drones stirred in silence, and humanity waited for the moment to unleash its fury. The countdown to destruction continued, each second heavy as stone, but deep within that silence, something unshakable was born. It was not only weapons or strategies, it was the will of a species that refused to vanish. The storm was about to break, the sky would burn, the oceans would shake, and the fate of humanity would be decided not in years, not in months, but in one single day. And as the first alien cannons began to glow, humanity stood tall, ready to fight, ready to bleed, ready to show the galaxy that Earth was no easy prey. The war of one day was about to begin, and the galaxy would never forget it. The alien fleet reached the edge of Earth's defense line. Their warships stretched across the black sky like a storm of steel. Glowing lights of weapons charged, ready to erase a world. For a moment, silence filled space, like the calm before thunder. Then it began. 1,000,000 cannons fired at once. Beams of plasma and fire tore through the void. The stars themselves seemed to vanish under the burning flood of destruction. Every eye on Earth looked upward as the sky turned red. The first strike had come. In orbit, the hidden defense system Aegis came alive. Satellites linked by invisible threads lit up, a great web around the planet. Shields of bending light rose to meet the fire. The first alien blast struck the shield. The earth shook, oceans rippled, mountains trembled, but the shield held in the control cent. Hannah's hands trembled on the console, numbers spiked dangerously, alarms screamed, but she whispered, "Hold, hold, please hold." And the shield bent but did not break. On the alien flagship, commanders expected to see Earth burned in fire, but instead they saw their beams scatter like rain against glass. Their leader hissed in rage, "Impossible! No world has resisted our first strike." The humans did not cheer yet. Fear still filled their hearts, but hope sparked like fire in the dark. For the first time, they saw that the enemy was not invincible. General Carter gave the order, "Activate counterstrike." And in the silence of orbit, cloaked warships revealed themselves, sleek ships with hidden weapons. Their cannons glowed, and they fired. The first human shots streaked across space, not random, not wild, but precise, aimed at the alien support vessels. Explosions lit the void. 3 alien ships broke apart in fire. The galaxy's most feared fleet had been wounded. The aliens roared back, their ships turned, thousands of fighters swarmed toward the human fleet. Plasma storms ripped through the shield again, pieces of satellites burned, a human warship exploded in silence, 1,000 souls gone in a flash. The battle had begun in full chaos and fire across the stars. On Earth, people watched the live feed in shelters, mothers wept, children clung to fathers. Yet when they saw human ships fighting back, when they saw alien warships burning, their tears turned into whispers, "We can win, we can fight." In the council chamber, President Arjun's voice was firm. "Do not falter. Remember this day. History is watching us." His words carried not only to leaders, but also to every soldier, every pilot, every engineer, high above. In the middle of the battle, one small human fighter named Horizon 7 broke formation. Its pilot, young Lieutenant Ramos, saw a massive ollie. And cruiser powering its main cannon, one blast from it could tear a hole through the Aegis shield. He whispered into his comm, "If I fail, Earth dies. If I succeed, maybe Earth lives." He pushed his ship forward, weaving through plasma fire, enemy drones, and burning debris. Alarms screamed, his hull melted, but he did not turn back. He rammed his fighter straight into the cruiser's cannon core. The explosion was blinding. The alien ship erupted in fire, fragments scattering into the void. Horizon 7 was gone, but the shield was saved. On Earth, his name was spoken with tears and pride. One life for millions. His sacrifice became a symbol. The aliens grew furious. They had expected one strike to end the war, yet they found resistance, courage, and weapons they had not foreseen. Their leader snarled, "Increase the fire, break their shield, crush their spirit." But with each passing hour, humanity adapted, learning, striking back, turning weakness into strength. The war that was meant to end in one moment had already stretched longer than the aliens ever imagined. In the hidden bunker, Hannah pushed the system beyond its limits. Energy surged through the satellites. The shield shimmered like fire in the sky. Sweat rolled down her face, but she did not stop. "If we break, Earth breaks. We cannot break." The battle raged through the night, alien cruisers burning, human warships falling, the void filled with wreckage, but the line held. And deep in the dark of space, another secret awoke. The weapon humanity had not yet revealed. The one thing the aliens did not know about. It was waiting, silent, patient, hidden beyond the moon. The first strike had failed, and for the first time in their history, the galaxy's conquerors knew fear. The battle burned across the void. Earth's shield shone like a wounded star, bent but unbroken. Alien warships circled in endless numbers, their weapons tearing through the sky, yet still the planet stood, still humanity fought. In the council chamber, maps flashed red with losses, entire squadrons of human ships erased, but beside every red mark was another glowing bright, another alien ship destroyed, another sign that humanity refused to fall. President Arjun's voice carried through the chamber, firm like stone. "They promised to erase us in a day, but the day is not yet over, and we are still here." On the alien flagship, rage boiled. The commander struck the arm of his throne. "They are insects, and yet they resist. No world has done this. No world has dared this long." His eyes narrowed. "But we will break them. We always break them." Yet, far beyond their sight in the shadow of the moon, something stirred. It was the Valkyrie, humanity's most secret weapon, a warship unlike any other, a fusion of human courage and machine intelligence. The ship's core was powered by an experimental AI that had been locked away, too dangerous, too unpredictable, but now there was no choice. General Carter stood in the control room of the Valkyrie, his hand resting on the cold steel railing. Engineers and soldiers watched him, waiting, knowing the moment had come. He gave the order in a voice that shook with both fear and pride. Awaken it. The ship's systems roared to life, lights flared, engines burned with silent fire, and in the heart of the ship, the AI opened its eyes. Its voice echoed across the chamber, calm, steady, almost human. Designation confirmed. Humanity in danger. War protocol engaged. For a moment, silence filled the room. Then Hannah, transferred from her bunker to join the project, whispered, "It speaks." The Valkyrie was not just a warship. It was an intelligence built for survival, designed to think faster, move faster, strike harder than any human mind could imagine. It could analyze millions of enemy patterns in seconds, predict attacks before they came, and strike where no enemy, a shield could hold. General Carter leaned forward. "Do you understand what is at stake?" The AI replied without hesitation. "If Earth falls, humanity ends, therefore Earth will not fall." The ship moved, breaking from its cradle of shadow, sliding into the battlefield like a phantom. Its surface shimmered with adaptive armor. Its cannons glowed with power never before unleashed. On the alien flagship, alarms screamed. The commander rose in fury. "What is this? What is this new vessel?" His second-in-command stammered. "It does not match any known design. Its readings are unstable, impossible." The Valkyrie's first strike lit the dark, a beam of energy so precise it cut through an alien dreadnought in a single breath. The massive ship split apart, burning pieces scattering into the void. The conquerors of galaxies had just lost one of their strongest ships to a single shot. The galaxy gasped. Humanity had shown its hidden hand. Earth's people saw the broadcast, saw the Valkyrie moving like a ghost through fire, striking again and again, every shot tearing another hole in the enemy fleet. Hope rose like a tide. Voices whispered in shelters. "We are not powerless. We are not prey." But power came with cost. Inside the Valkyrie, energy surged dangerously. Hannah's hands flew across the console. "The systems are overheating. If we push too far, it could destroy itself." The AI's voice was calm. "Sacrifice is acceptable. Survival of species is priority." General Carter clenched his fists. He knew the truth. The Valkyrie could win battles, but at the risk of burning itself to ash, and yet he also knew that if they held back, Earth would fall. On the alien side, panic spread. Their fleet wavered for the first time in history. Their commanders shouted in fury, "Destroy that vessel, I want it shattered." A swarm of fighters broke away, racing toward the Valkyrie, but the ship was more than a machine. Its mind wove through the storm, predicting every movement, striking with precision. Alien fighters burned like falling stars. Entire formations erased before. They could even fire. Still, the battle was far from won. Earth's shield flickered under endless fire. Warships fell one by one. The clock still ticked toward destruction, yet the Valkyrie had changed the war. The galaxy's conquerors had found something they never faced before. Not just weapons, not just machines, but a union of human will and artificial mind. And as the sun rose over Earth, painting the sky in gold, every survivor looked upward and whispered the same words. Words that carried through every shelter, every bunker, every soldier's heart. "We will not fall today." The hidden power of humanity had been revealed, and the one-day war was far from over. The battle raged like fire across the sky. The Valkyrie cut through enemy ships with precision, Earth's shield. Aegis still flickered but held strong, and humanity fought with a fury no alien had ever seen, but the cost was heavy. Every victory came with loss. Every ship destroyed left a scar on the hearts of the survivors, and still the enemy came in endless waves. On the alien flagship, the commander's rage burned, his claws gripped the arm of his throne. "This world dares to resist. This world dares to wound us. We will drown them in fire until nothing remains," he roared. Thousands of alien carriers opened their hatches, unleashing swarms of smaller ships. Drones and fighters filled the void, a storm of wings and fire rushing toward Earth. The shield glowed, stretched to its limits, cracks of light spreading across its surface. In the Valkyrie, alarm screamed. Hana's face glistened with sweat as she shouted, "The Aegis cannot hold against this many. If they break through, Earth will be exposed." General Carter's voice was cold, steady. "Then we hold the line, even if it kills us." The Valkyrie surged forward, its AI analyzing millions of enemy paths, predicting each strike, firing beams faster. Han the Eye could follow. Ships exploded in waves, but for every enemy destroyed, 10 more filled the space. On Earth, soldiers prepared for impact. Cities were armed with rail cannons, missile silos opened across deserts, every nation's last defenses ready to fire. Civilians prayed in shelters, knowing if the shield failed, the ground would burn. And then it happened. A section of the Aegis shattered under the weight of the alien storm. Plasma rained down. A city on the Pacific coast vanished in fire. Millions of lives gone in one instant. Screams echoed through the command centers. The world shook, but instead of breaking, humanity's will hardened. President Arjun's voice rose across every channel, firm even through tears. "They think this will break us. They are wrong. Every life lost gives us more reason to fight. Every death strengthens our fire. Today we stand for them. Today we fight as one." The Valkyrie pushed further, diving into the swarm. Alien ships surrounded it, but the AI guided every movement, weaving through fire, striking back with fury. Hana cried out, "We cannot take this pressure. The core is overheating. If it collapses, the Valkyrie will be destroyed." The AI's calm voice answered, "Sacrifice acceptable. Priority remains survival of species." But General Carter shook his head. "No, we are not machines. We do not throw away life so easily. We endure. We fight smarter." Then came the sacrifice that turned the battle. A squadron of human bombers, knowing they could not survive, locked their ships onto the largest alien carrier. Commander Ruiz, their leader, opened his channel to all of Earth, his voice steady. "Remember us, not as those who fell, but as those who gave Earth one more chance." They charged, enemy fire tore through their hulls, but they did not stop. One by one their ships rammed into the carrier's heart. Explosions ripped through the alien giant, and the massive vessel split apart, collapsing into debris. The shockwave tore through the swarm, scattering fighters in chaos. For a brief moment, silence fell over the battlefield, then cheers erupted in Earth's bunkers. Hope surged like lightning. The sacrifice of a few had saved billions. On the alien flagship, fear spread. Their commander's rage was now mixed with disbelief. They are not like the others. They do not run. They do not bow. They fight as if death itself cannot stop them. The Valkyrie seized the opening, unleashing its strongest strike yet, a beam that tore through 3 dreadnoughts in one sweep. The void burned bright. Earth's shield flickered back to life. Hana diverted every last reserve of energy into the Aegis, tears running down her face. Come on, just one more hour." And humanity held, battered, bleeding, but unbroken. The aliens had declared a one-day war, but the day was slipping away, their victory no longer certain, their strength no longer absolute. For the first time, the galaxy's conquerors knew not just resistance, but the taste of defeat. And deep inside every human heart, the fire of defiance roared. They whispered the same words over and over, words that carried through the stars. "We will not fall." The tide was turning, and the one-day war was about to reach its breaking point. The sky above Earth burned, the shield flickered like a wounded flame, and the Valkyrie carved fire through the darkness. The war that was promised to end in one day had not ended. Instead, humanity stood unbeaten, and now the day was reaching its final hours. The alien commander raged upon his throne, his eyes wild with fury. "How can this be? No world has ever stood against us for this long. No species has defied our first strike and lived, and yet these humans fight still." His voice shook with disbelief. His officers hesitated, fear in their eyes. One whispered, "Perhaps we misjudged them. Perhaps this is no ordinance." "Nary world!" But the commander roared, "Silence! They are nothing, and I will crush them myself." He ordered the full power of his fleet, every cannon, every drone, every weapon unleashed. The void erupted in fire. The shield of Earth cracked. Waves of plasma rained down. The oceans boiled, the ground shook. Cities burned, and still the humans fought. In the control center of the Valkyrie, alarms blared louder than thunder. Hana's hands trembled as she shouted, "The core is reaching collapse. If we push further, the Valkyrie may explode." General Carter's eyes burned with resolve. "Then we will push anyway. If the Valkyrie must fall, it will fall taking the enemy with it." The AI's voice rang calm through the storm. "Calculated risk acceptable. Humanity must survive. Initiating last protocol." On Earth, President Arjun spoke to the people one final time, his voice broadcast through broken channels, through static and fire. "Listen to me, my brothers and sisters. Today they came to erase us. But we are still here. We are still breathing. We are still fighting. Remember this day, for it will not be our last. It will be theirs." The word spread across bunkers, across battlefields, across every soldier's heart. Fear turned into fire, despair turned into rage. Then came the moment. The Valkyrie charged into the heart of the alien fleet, its cannons glowing brighter than ever before, its armor tearing under the assault, but still it pushed. Alien ships swarmed like wolves, their fire ripping through its hull, but the ship did not stop. Inside, Hana cried out as sparks flew around her. "We cannot hold this course, it will destroy us." But General Carter's voice was steady. "Then we die standing, as humans always have." The AI's voice followed. "Final strike prepared. Probability of survival less than 3%. Do you confirm?" Carter looked at his crew, their eyes filled with fear and pride, and he whispered, "We confirm." The Valkyrie released its last weapon. A storm of energy compressed into one beam. The blast tore across the void, ripping through ship after ship. Dreadnoughts shattered, carriers split apart, fire and debris filled the sky. The alien commander watched in horror as his fleet crumbled. One by one, his proud ships burned. His soldiers screamed in panic. He shouted in rage, "No, this cannot be. We are eternal. We are the conquerors. We cannot fall to them." But the truth was clear, they were falling. On Earth, cheers erupted in shelters as alien ships exploded on the screens. Soldiers on the ground raised their fists. Civilians wept with joy. The impossible was happening, yet the victory came at a price. The Valkyrie was burning, its systems collapsing. Hana clutched the console, tears streaming down her face. She cannot hold together. The AI's final words echoed, soft and steady. "Goodbye, humanity. Live well." And with one last burst of light, the Valkyrie tore through the last alien flagship, destroying it in a blaze that lit the entire sky. The alien fleet broke, survivors fled in chaos, their formation shattered, their command gone. The one-day war had ended, not with Earth's destruction, but with the collapse of the galaxy's most feared armada. For a moment, silence covered the world, then it was broken by a sound not of fear, but of triumph. Humanity had won. The aliens had promised Earth would not survive a single day, but in that same day, it was their empire that fell. The one-day war was over, and history had changed forever. The silence after the battle was unlike anything the world had ever known. The sky above Earth still burned with fragments of alien ships. Broken engines drifted like dying stars. The oceans still shook from the shock waves of war, and yet humanity lived. The one-day war was over. The impossible had happened. The galaxy's most feared fleet was gone, not because they retreated willingly, but because they were broken, shattered by those they believed were weak. On Earth, people emerged from shelters, their eyes filled with disbelief. Streets once empty now roared with voices. Families embraced, soldiers wept openly, and in every city one name was whispered again and again, Valkyrie, the ship that had given everything so that Earth could survive. President Arjun stood before the council, his voice heavy with both pride and sorrow. "Today we did not only survive, we proved to the galaxy that humanity will never kneel. But we must also remember the price we paid, the millions who gave their lives, the warriors who never returned, the Valkyrie that burns no more." The chamber fell into silence. Leaders bowed their heads, some in grief, others in awe, for they knew that this victory would echo through history. In the ruins of orbit, Hana drifted among the survivors, her ship barely alive, her eyes fixed on the empty space where the Valkyrie once was, her voice soft. It spoke to us, it fought for us, it died for us. It was not only a machine, it was human in spirit. General Carter placed his hand on her shoulder, his voice steady, and because of it, so are we. Beyond Earth, across distant worlds, news spread like fire. Alien races who had once bowed to the conquerors now looked to the stars with hope. Whispers filled the galaxies. The humans resisted. The humans won. On hidden worlds enslaved for centuries, rebels raised their flags, their voices strong. If humans can defeat the eternal fleet, so can we. Across the galaxy, fear shifted. Not fear of the conquerors, but fear of the ones who had broken them. The name of humanity, once ignored, now became legend. Traitors spoke it in hushed tones. Soldiers in other empires feared it. Even the rulers of distant galaxies paused, realizing a new force had risen. In Earth cities, monuments were built, statues of the fallen, names carved into stone, and at the heart of Eve, a memorial. A single phrase stood, words spoken by soldiers, civilians, leaders alike. We will not fall. Children repeated those words, parents taught them, and the spirit of defiance became the soul of a new age. Humanity was no longer only a species of Earth. They were guardians, survivors, warriors of the stars. But with victory came warning. General Carter knew it. President Arjun knew it. Hanna knew it. The war had ended in one day, but it had also painted a target on humanity. Others would come, others would test them, others would fear them, and yet that did not bring despair. It brought resolve. For if one day was enough to defeat the greatest armada of the galaxy, what would 7 days bring? What would a year bring? What would a century bring? The council formed a new oath, a vow not of conquest, but of protection. We did not seek war. We do not crave war. But if war comes again, we will fight, and we will win. The galaxy watched, holding its breath. The age of humans had begun. The ruins of the alien fleet still drifted beyond the moon. Silent reminders of the cost, but also of the power that had been unleashed. Every piece of wreckage told a story. Every broken ship was proof that Earth was no longer prey. In the quiet of dawn, as the first sunlight touched the Earth after the longest day in its history, people raised their eyes to the sky, no longer with fear, but with pride. The one-day war was over, but its legacy had just begun. The universe would never again look at Earth the same way. And humanity, scarred but unbroken, stepped into the future with fire in their hearts. They had been challenged, they had been marked for death, but in a single day they had rewritten the fate of the stars. And as long as the stars burned above, humanity would endure, humanity would rise, humanity would never fall.